I'll kind of stand over here. I don't know where I'm going to stand. I don't want to block you. All right. Good morning on behalf of the Orange Chamber of Commerce and Visitor Bureau. Welcome to Eggs and Issues for February. Thank you guys so much for coming this morning. Give yourselves a round of applause for getting up. It's a beautiful day. I think it's going to be 90 tomorrow. Well, before we get started, I know there's a couple of special people that I want to just say a quick hello to out here in the audience. But before we do that, as you can see, there is someone sitting in my chair. Please welcome our new Duke of Orange, Adrian Olmos. Before you go.
Oh, I wasn't leaving yet. I wasn't leaving yet.
You wanted to
that's my exit.
like do the chat. What has best prepared you for your reign as Duke of Orange this year?
Well, obviously I love the city of Orange. My kids were born here. They go to school here.
Nice.
Bought my first house here. Been in Old Town for 11 years. So just my passion for the city and wanting to be involved in different things from fun to serious.
Okay.
It's just a perfect matchup for me to go after.
Well, it was a really fun competition. We're so happy to have you for this year. We look forward to seeing you at the many events we're going to have throughout the year.
I'm going to be at many.
Thank you for popping in this morning for breakfast. So normally I start with our introduction to guests kind of in an order, but since we're going to be chatting here with our mayor, we'll welcome him first. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm only a mayor. I'm aspiring to be a duke.
I know. I see a couple other people that I want to say a quick hello to. I'm just going to scan the room and kind of go in order if I can see who's here. Kathy Tavalera, City Council, welcome. John Gellenhammer, just behind her. Garrett Smith, City Treasurer. Did I miss anyone? Okay, I think we're good. So this session is about you all. Most of you guys have been here before. For those of you who it's your first time, we are so glad to have you. This is an open format, so I do have questions to ask the mayor, but really it's about things that you guys want to ask. So feel free to, if there's something that we're chatting about and you have a question about that, just raise your hand. We'll go ahead and jump you in there. And then if you have any questions, I'll definitely continue to open it up for any questions that you might have. We try to do a hard stop at 9. Today is a city council day, so I know it's going to be a long day, so we'll try and keep this on time. And with that, it is my pleasure to again introduce Mayor Dan Slater.
Oh.
So as we are with tradition, we typically read bios. Our mayor is a person who needs no introduction at this point, but we do have some people who might be newer to the city. So I'm going to go ahead with formality and read your bio. It's very brief, very short, if that's okay with you.
Keep it short.
Keep it short. Okay. Dan Slater is a third-generation Orange resident. He can trace his family roots in Orange back to the 1880s. Sorry, we're going all the way back. Dan attended Emmanuel Lutheran School in Orange from kindergarten through 8th grade and graduated from Orange Lutheran High in 1977. He received a Bachelor of Arts in Business Administration from Cal State Fullerton in 1985. His concentration was in finance with an emphasis on real estate. He immediately embarked on his career of residential real estate brokerage at Orange Realty, Inc. in Orange. Dan is extremely knowledgeable with all of Orange's unique communities and neighborhoods. Dan lives in Old Town in a 1923 California bungalow he restored. Dan's community involvement is extensive and includes 8 years on the Orange City Council from 1994 to 2002, and in 2022, he was elected mayor. Dan has been a longtime member of the Orange Rotary Club, served as president of the Old Town Preservation Association, and president of the Orange Chamber of Commerce. He currently serves on the Measure S Citizens Oversight Committee, appointed by the Orange School Board to oversee school bond expenditures. On Sundays, you will find him ushering at his church, St. John's Lutheran in downtown Orange. His dedication to the city is a testament to practice of servant leadership in everyday life. Dan is very involved in the reforestation of Orange. He is proud of the Tree Hero Award from California Relief and the Orange County Environmental Award. On 2 Saturday mornings a month, he is either picking up trash in Santiago Creek or on the 55 freeway. In his spare time, Oh, you have spare time. He enjoys gardening, skiing, outdoor adventure, tending to his chickens, and traveling. His most recent trips include China, South Africa, Antarctica, and Ireland. We thank you so much for being here. That's so much. And I know that, do you really have spare time?
Just a little bit.
Thank you for spending some of that with us this morning. We're so glad to have you. How are you doing today?
Really great.
Good. So I figured we might just dive right in and start with what I consider to be the heavier topics first. Let's start with the budget. I just want to Kathy, I didn't just jump off a cliff. Stop it. I feel like it's the heaviest topic of the day, so let's start there and then we can go light from there. So tell us about what's going on. I know we've got a lot going on. The budget is one of the topics we've been talking about for quite some time. I know you were a guest right as you started as mayor in 2023, the beginning. So it's been 2 years since you've been with us. And I know that was a packed session. This is another packed session. But if we start with the budget, I feel like we can kind of go light from there.
So the truth of the matter is we weren't really having honest budgets in the past. The city staff were, so here's the budget. We're going to have so many employees, but we're not necessarily going to fill all those positions. So it was things like that got us by, borrowing from reserves over the many years. It was, the bottom line was just a lack of political will on behalf of management and the city council, quite frankly, to address some deep underlying issues. Those being that costs keep going up, clearly, for primarily labor and for materials and vehicles and everything that the city uses. However, revenues have been fairly flat, and that's due to internet. It's due to Amazon. Thank you, Mr. Gillenhammer. Great company, by the way, though. but revenues have been fairly flat. So, and economic development was completely neglected. So we reinstated a large emphasis on economic development because that's the true organic way that we need to get out of this problem. And we're looking at other ways to create more efficiencies so the city runs better. That's what the taxpayers really wanted when they barely said no to Measure Z by just 0.5%. But they're basically saying, city, get your act together first and really prove to us that you really need more revenue. So that's what we're largely trying to do. So we started the budget last year with a $19 million structural deficit. We immediately started making cuts, but primarily this, and we're going to end up this year with a balanced budget, believe it or not, but that is primarily on the backs of the loss in labor that we've had. We have not fired or laid off anybody, but just through attrition, we're down over 60 employees in our city, and it's actually having an impact on every department. But just being down that many employees is saving us between $6 and $7 million, and is finally closing the gap. Sadly, customer service is not what it used to be. We're even down police officers, which in my opinion is tragic. Fortunately, crime rate dropped 12% last year, so that we have a police department that's doing a phenomenal job. And we've enacted some things that are helping the police department, like the Flock program. It's a camera program that helps get the bad guys quicker. So we're doing all we can with what we have, and we're going to just plow ahead. And, the great thing about the city of Orange is everyone rallies together and we make it work. And that's what makes our city so special. And we are making it work, and we will make it work.
Thank you. I know on that topic, another revenue-related item is the paid parking. And I know there were several meetings that were hosted to garner, interest, feedback. Can you tell us where we are with the paid parking ordinance?
So as with any ordinance, requires two readings. The first reading, it passed a couple of council meetings ago. A second reading is on the agenda for tonight. If it passes, then we will have paid parking in Old Town beginning around this fall. It will only consist of the 8 core commercial blocks in Old Town. The areas remaining outside of that, primarily City Hall parking lot and the parking structure on Lemon Street will remain free. But everyone thinks, oh, this is just another way the city's trying to, patch the budget together. And honestly, it was spearheaded by the chamber members and the business owners downtown who really need the parking to turn over more because cars are sitting there all day. I'm sure a lot of them are employees. They should be parking over in the parking structure. So, and there's a lot of side benefits too. The consultant that did the plan says there won't be as many cars circulating looking for parking spaces. So we're hoping that it's really going to be a benefit to economic development in Old Town and also to the customers and providing more customer service, providing some parking spaces. So that's what really drove it.
Okay. And as far as if it passes, what do we look at as far as like implementation? When would that start?
So it's going to be a kiosk and app-based program, and all that needs to be put in place, and the fine details worked out. So it's expected that it'll be this fall.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you. Any questions thus far? I think we've covered the heaviest of it, so we just dove in, like I said.
By the way, if any of my colleagues say that I'm off on something, or you disagree, or you have something to add that I miss, please chime in.
Dan, do you see another parking structure someday in the downtown area?
I do. In fact, there's talk of a couple other potential parking structures, one being where the old fire station is. The city owns that entire half block. We could really do a nice redevelopment project from Almond all the way to Chapman and incorporate a lot more parking, perhaps some retail. I'd love to see a grocery store downtown in Old Town, like a Trader Joe's, and perhaps some city offices as well. So anyway, there's a whole host of things that could be done with that space.
Okay. Well, I know our city attorney has moved on to another city, but other than that, I feel like there's a retiring bug. We've had so many long-term people, like quality people who've been here for just decades, and it's time for them to move on, new people to come in. So I believe we have city attorney, city manager, police chief. What does hiring look like, and what does filling those look like for you?
Well, when I came in as mayor 2 years ago, we had a similar situation. We had missed department heads for a couple of years, had not been filled, and city manager just quit, the city attorney just quit. So we've been there, we've done this. So, but we're in much better shape. Tom Casella has been our city manager interim for 2 years, but we are now actively in a hiring process, and there's a lot of good candidates out there. So I'm very optimistic we're going to have a really great city manager following a really great city manager. The city attorney, unfortunately, had an opportunity to go back to the city he came from, and it's just one he couldn't pass up on, but we're going to start that process very soon as well. Meantime, we have an interim city attorney who was our city attorney prior to a couple city attorneys ago. And he's very capable, knows the city, and he's going to see us through till we get a new one.
Oh, nice.
By the same token, the police department is in excellent hands. There's a couple of captains who would be excellent candidates to replace Chief Adams, and that's also in the works. So I think we're going to be in good shape.
Definitely. I think that we will be. Okay. And as far as, I know one of the things we talked about kind of pre-meeting was the city audit. So is that taking place now, or what does that look like for us?
We're still looking at what an audit might look like. Some in the public are questioning, why did we get in this financial mess? And it's been suggested that, something perhaps nefarious took place. And there's been nothing to prove that anything like that took place. I think it was just lack of will to fix the problem. But anyway, we're looking for a way that we can satisfy the public that this issue doesn't exist, but we feel that the public deserves to know if it really does or not. One of the things we're looking at, and the city manager is going to be talking about at the council meeting today, is we have a citizens audit committee that was just reformulated, and that's a 7-member citizen committee. There's some very talented people on it, including a couple of CPAs, including a couple of people that are used to municipal finance, which is completely different than finance in the public sector. So we feel that the talent is there to really knuckle down and see if are there any issues or not, and get this issue resolved once and for all.
Okay. You mentioned committees. And so right here we have a lot of our business community, a lot of our business owners, business leaders, and just community at large. How can someone make sure they're on the forefront of that? I know it's probably posted on the website, maybe Instagram, social media, but how can people make sure, like if they want to get involved in a committee or really be in that loop, what's the best way for them to do that?
Well, in addition to city council appointed committees, there's a whole host of other opportunities in the city, the Library Foundation, the Community Foundation. You know, I could go on and on. But if you would like to be interested in a city council appointed committee, such as Planning Commission, Traffic, Parks, Library, and so forth, just go to the city website, cityoforange.org, go to the city clerks section, and under that, under boards and commissions, click on that, and you'll see applications. But look at the application, look at the opportunities, and see if there's something that would appeal to you. And even though there may not be a vacancy at present, if there's something that interests you, go ahead and apply for it so your application is on file should a vacancy occur.
Okay. Now, as far as projects, I know we have a lot of housing projects coming in. I believe in the fall, I think it was September, we hosted Irvine Company, and they spoke at length to us about Orange Heights. But what other projects can we look forward to?
So since the council approved the small lot subdivision project at the corner of Cambridge and Catella, where the old AT&T building was, it's been torn down. A lot of developers have said, gosh, it seems like maybe Orange is finally ready to move forward and is, more open to business. So now we have a whole host of developers that are coming to the city and saying, hey, what about this and what about that? A couple I can talk about is the old Best Buy site in North Tustin. Another small lot subdivision is being proposed for that. The old car lot that is at the off-ramp of the 55 freeway on East Chapman, used car lot. Unfortunately, that cannot be redeveloped to be retail because of the ingress and egress issues. So the owner of that site is proposing a residential development, as well as, unfortunately, where the old skate park or skate ranch or whatever it is there, proposing one there as well. There's 2 housing developments being talked about on West Chapman or off of West Chapman. And there's a couple others that don't come to mind. But anyway, we're excited about that because I think that Orange needs a little bit of a shot in the arm, bring in some younger home buyers that want to look for better retail and better restaurants, and that'll hopefully more retail and better retail will follow, and restaurants, and give the city some energy again.
Awesome. Any questions coming to mind? Anyone have?
Is there an update on the microtransit?
Actually, the chamber would be a better person to ask that about. But to me, from what I've heard, it's still in the works. Is that correct, Patty?
She's over
yes,
there.
Yes.
We're
We're still on top of that.
Okay.
still working on that. Brandy.
I'm going to ask it for everyone in the room. Do we have any updates on the Orange Mall and what's happening with Panama?
Was it Panama? Yes. Yeah.
So Panama was proposed for the Sears site, but that may be on hold due to Walmart may object to it because I think they're selling some similar products. Is that correct? Councilmember Tavaleros, yeah.
Okay.
We have got all three of the owners of the mall to sit down, and they're talking, and we may explore them doing a specific plan where they engage with the community again and say, okay, folks, what can we put here that is good for the Orange, is good for Orange, is good for the neighborhood, good for the community. So I think we're probably going to initiate that process again. Would you say that's a good overall summation, Kathy?
Yes.
And then, but the good news, at least for now, is that Trader Joe's has submitted an application to the city to expand into the old CVS site. So once they do that, that is going to be a fantastic, large Trader Joe's, which we really need. That's a small one that's there.
That'll be nice. Love Trader Joe's.
Walmart has talked about expanding, but they seem to be on hold or stalling. I don't know what the reason for that is, but hopefully they will proceed with that soon as well.
Okay. Well, while we're on the topic of economic development, I know that's another key initiative of yours. What is there anything that we can look forward to as far as economic development or other things that are going on that the business community would want to be involved in?
Well, the largest thing I would say is we're actively we have a citizens roundtable that sits down and is exploring ways to bring more revenue and businesses into the city. We're also very actively, we have a consultant that is laying out a plan of what our side of the river can look like. Anaheim has that huge project going in, the Orange County Vibe, but we would like to take advantage of that and see how we can benefit on the orange side of the river as well. And there's some unique ideas that are being floated around. And the owner of the movie theaters is very interested as well. A large lot on West Chapman that's been vacant for many years next to the 5 freeway. I just understand that they're about to bring forward a hotel project that we've been anxiously waiting for. So we're excited about that. It's going to be over 200 rooms.
Okay.
So those are a couple.
Another concern, homelessness. I know that's a concern really of every major California city. What efforts are we continuing or are we doing to continue to help people get off the streets here in Orange?
So 2 years ago, our focus was on how do we help get homeless people off the streets. And the laws at the time really made it so that we couldn't ask them to leave unless we could provide them a bed.
Mm-hmm.
So the focus was on building up our services at the hub so that we could take them there and that they could point them to housing, rehab, mental health, all those kinds of things. We're still doing that. We got a $3 million grant to boost that facility up, and there's work going on there now to do so. In the meantime, the laws have changed, and now the Supreme Court has said, no, you don't necessarily have to provide a bed. If they are loitering, if they are camping out on sidewalks, if they're hanging out in the parks or the creek after it gets nightfall, that they now can be cited and arrested. And so now we are looking at taking that approach. The sad thing of it all is that, first of all, the good side is if there's anyone that's legitimately homeless on the streets of Orange, be it because you were evicted, because you're a victim of domestic violence, if you recently lost your job, we will definitely help you get into housing, get some help in some way. And we even have a family shelter in Orange. So if you truly want help, we will put you in, we will get you help. And we have a heart team that's out assisting with that. And our hub center is out actively engaging with people as well. But if you just want to hang out on the streets of Orange, because you have because you're a drug addict, you're an alcoholic, you don't want to take your meds. I was talking to a homeless guy at the office the other day. He's a regular. And I said, he's standing in the rain. I said, why aren't you at a shelter? Well, because they're making me take my meds. And he said, I'm bipolar and I don't want to take my meds. I thought, oh, for Pete's sake, I felt sorry for him, but, it gets to a point where you've got to help yourself somewhat too. And we're, by being a little more aggressive with enforcement, that sends the message that, look, you've got to do something to help yourself as well. We can't do it all for you. And just enabling them by giving them handouts and handing them money and handing them clothes is just enabling bad behavior. And I don't support that. Homelessness in Orange is dropping.
Okay, good time to pause for a question.
Do we have an update on the Grijalva skate park?
That is a great question. It is supposed to commence construction at some point this year, but I don't know when.
And the park in West Orange?
Oh, that's having problems with the Army Corps of Engineers, so we're wrestling with them. And as you know, anything at the federal level is a momentous task. So we're still working on it.
Rachel.
That's actually a segue to something I was thinking about, Mayor. Relationships are so important. Can you speak about kind of the working relationship with the school board, county partners, state partners at the federal level? Kind of just how's it been to work with your colleagues?
We have, I feel, a really good school board in place right now. And we have a committee in the city that is a city schools committee, whereas representatives from the city council sit down with school board members and try to hash out issues and see what things we could do to cooperate on together. So I feel we have a really good relationship with the Orange Unified School District Board, and it's continuing to improve. Beyond that, we don't really actively engage with the county school board or at anything beyond that. We do engage with San Diego Canyon College folks at East Orange, and we really try to work with them as much as we can too. We've really got good leadership out there, and it's really an asset for Orange to have that campus. Did I answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyone else? Abby.
Can you tell us about how we can help clean up the creek?
I would love to.
Great question.
I didn't ask her to ask that either.
She read my notes.
So the San Diego Creek Alliance really sponsors that monthly cleanup. It's held the second Saturday of every month, and it's from 9 in the morning till 11 a.m. It's just 2 hours. And we meet, usually it's either at the Cambridge Street Bridge or at Yorba Park. And so you can go on their website and see where we meet. You can sign up or just show up. They provide gloves and bags and sticks to help pick things up. And just go down the creek and clean up trash. Sadly, most of the trash is left by homeless people that are coming down the creek. So we're really focused on trying to get the homeless people to stop hanging out in the creek and dragging all their trash down there as well. But anyway, there's such a vital resource in the city, and this council is putting a lot more focus on it, and we want to keep it clean and a safe place for people to feel like they could use our trail and enjoy it. But anyway, second Saturday of every month, 9 to 11. Yeah, come on down. And a lot of times we've had the Rotary Club join us. We've had the Orange High ROTC kids come and join us, and they love doing that. They'll show up with 70 kids, and we pick up a lot of trash.
I know that you mentioned there might be some new ordinances, speaking of keeping things cleaner. Is there anything new that we can look forward to as far as ordinances for keeping the city cleaner now?
So recently, the city council passed a couple of ordinances. One is that all graffiti must be removed within 24 hours. If you get graffiti on your business, we want you to take it down right away because that discourages more from coming. And I'm really happy. I don't see graffiti very often, but if you do, please get on the Orange 24/7 app immediately and report it, and we'll get rid of it ASAP. Another thing we did is we adopted a shopping cart ordinance, which we've never had before. So now anybody that has shopping carts, when they renew their annual business license, the city's going to say, well, thank you very much. And by the way, we need you to implement or show us your cart removal program. How are you planning to keep your carts on your premises? And for retail stores that have, I forget how many carts, but there's a level whereby if they have, I think it's 40 or 50 carts, they have to actually provide a perimeter around their store so that you can't push a cart outside of the parking lot or the cart becomes disabled. But we're also active with enforcement. If you take a cart off of a lot, the bike team is going to give you a ticket. So that's stealing. You should not have a cart off of the premises. So hopefully I'm seeing fewer carts on the street. It's going to take a little bit of time, but we're getting there. And then finally, we just adopted another ordinance. Some of the homeless people like to steal bicycles, and then they take them down the creek, and then they disassemble them and sell the parts and make money. So we passed another ordinance that makes it illegal for you to disassemble a bicycle away from a bicycle store. If you got a flat tire on the bike trail, you'll be fine. If you're down the creek taking a bicycle apart, you're going to get busted for that too.
Okay.
I got a comment on that. Actually, my bike was stolen just 2 or 3 weeks ago
Oh, no.
from a homeless person, and PD helped me get it back that day.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
If,
Yeah. Go Orange PD.
if you register your bicycle with the city, then they'll put a tag on it, and it's easier for the city to track stolen bicycles. So just a suggestion.
Okay. As far as traffic in and around the town, what are we doing, I guess, to keep things running as smooth and efficiently as we can?
So there's some obvious things that we're doing or have done since we've been on the council. There was a signal improvement at Batavia and West Chapman, whereby a designated left turn lane was added. When I came on the council, if you're going east on Chapman, at Hughes, turning left bound onto Hughes, there's always cars backed up because there's only one left turn lane. And I said, why don't we do what we do at Prospect? We have 2 left turn lanes, and the city staff said, that's a good idea. So all they did is basically restripe the street, and now there's 2 lanes turning left off of Hughes. But what's even helped more is a lot more subtle. And 20 years ago when I was on the council, we had all the signals on East Chapman synchronized so that when you're traveling east on Chapman, hopefully, the signals are all green as you go. It moves traffic so much quicker. Well, in the last 2 years, we implemented that on Tustin Street. So if you're driving on Tustin Street, you're probably going to notice that, wow, these lights are green, 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 and you can really cover a lot more ground on Tustin Street a lot quicker than you used to be able to. Now we're going to implement the same thing on Glassell Street going north. So hopefully, so soon traffic on Glassell will also be moving much more smoothly. And a lot of those funds, or most of those funds, come from the Orange County Transportation Authority and Measure M. It's not a city fund. So anyway, I love when you can move quicker. And there's also some improvements coming to the 55 freeway from Catella North. They're going to be redoing the interchange at the 55 and the 91. They're going to be widening it, and they're going to be improving off ramps so that Hairpin Knoll Ranch Road off ramp is going to be extended across Lincoln, and now, so that'll be a much smoother transition. So a lot of improvements like that. We're going to have the groundbreaking for that, I think, next month. So.
All right. Well, thank you. We're kind of nearing the end, so we have time for one or two more questions, if there are any. If not, one question back there.
Yeah, I just have a question. I know Our Orange magazine is not being produced anymore. I'm sure it's due to cost cuts, but I was curious you may not even know this, but if there's what was the cost savings compared to the cost loss to the revenue loss, because people don't know about the classes as much. I mean, they can look it up, but I don't know that everybody knows that. So like contract classes that the community service department puts on, information that people need to get, and that.
So that was some of the low-hanging fruit that got whacked early on. I don't remember what the savings was for that particularly. Do you, council members?
Vaguely, but I don't know exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, we thought, nowadays, with print media, just, everyone's online for everything. And we just thought, that's all online as well. And that's just something that we didn't need to print anymore. I think we're doing it quarterly.
I think maybe my concern is I don't know that the information's still getting out to people, because I personally, I look at it all the time. I just thought I threw it away or something the last couple of times. I'm like, yeah, I threw it away. I don't think I knew that was going to happen. So maybe that's what I'm suggesting, is if there's a way to do a promotion or something so that people know that is still available. It's just online.
Well, just not skirt the issue, but a lot of those programs are now going to be cut anyway. Okay. So it's just budget realities, summer programs, police officers, so that's kind of how we have to look at everything.
Okay, we have time for final question, Brandy.
At City Council was discussed about Chapman in regards to a pilot program. Do we have any updates on that?
So that is still in the works, and Chapman University has said that they were willing to talk to us and implement some type of a pilot program. So the details of which we're still working on.
All right. Well, I know everyone probably wants to say a quick hello to Dan before he leaves. So if you don't mind, we'll go ahead and close the official segment before you go. We can do some announcements.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
And I'll hang around if anyone would like to ask me any other questions.
Okay. So I do have a few announcements, so bear with me. We have a lot going on. So first off, we have our February Chamber Mixer. It's at Ronald McDonald House. That's going to be on Thursday. If you guys have not, who here has not been to the Ronald McDonald House? You haven't been, you have to go. You must go. You really can't get in any other time, so this is your chance. It's on Thursday. We have our business networking group on the 1st and 3rd Wednesdays. The next meeting is on the 5th at Tito's Pizza. Ribbon cuttings, we have DCS Dock and Door Systems tomorrow. We have a Business 101 workshop series, The Power of Networking, on March 13th. The foundation, so we have an Orange Chamber and Visitor Bureau Foundation event that's coming up. Green Cheek is hosting bingo on the 12th, and I heard who went to bingo? Did anyone here go to bingo last time? I heard it was so much fun. Awesome. I will be there. I know, I heard it was packed. I'm definitely going this time. I love bingo. Leadership Orange, that is starting very soon. So if you have not decided to join that group, you still have time to jump in. It is an amazing, amazing program. So if you haven't done it yet, please do that. And then our next Eggs and Issues, we'll be hosting Orange City Fire Chief Sean DiMetropoulos. He is always a great guest, so we'll have him on March 25th. Okay, I think that's pretty much, I don't see Pat today. So I would be remiss not to wish our very own Pat Buttress, a legacy board member, a very happy milestone birthday. So Pat, if you're watching this online today, happy birthday. We wish you the best. Dan, thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure.
We so appreciate you. I know you're so busy. Sean, I think Sean might still be back there. Orange Cafe Bistro, thank you so much for having us. Thank you as well, everyone, for joining today. We will see you next month.
went well.
Thank you.
Thought-